Well, right, this right here is a topic that has been discussed quite a lot recently. I mean, over the last year as well, I will say, but even more so as we're getting closer to it now. The release date of Classic Plus is the worst possible time. A video by Ninja Loot, a very Classic Plus name right there, man.
Classic Plus with the worst possible timing.
Camelot is Classic Plus, and they launch Wrath and Camelot at the same time.
Yeah, according to the Slate leak here, this is interesting, because this right here shows that Camelot and Wrath would release at a very close to each other. My guess has always been that Camelot would come out October this year, and Wrath comes out February or March of next year. But according to this Slate leak, Wrath is Q4, the end of Q4 this year. That's like, it's not even the absolute end, it's like towards the end of Q4 of 2026. If Q4 of 2026 ends in December, this is kind of hinting towards Classic Plus, late September to early October, and Wrath in December. That is insane. We can see Classic Plus and Wrath Anniversary launching with a 2-month span between them. I don't think that's happening. I think after this Slate leak, because this Slate leak was probably intended to be this way, but I think TBC Anniversary has been dragged out to make these two collide slightly less. I think the intention was for TBC to be even more sped up than it currently is, because the way it is right now, it's not even super sped up, by the way. People were going to be like, oh, we're playing Lightning TBC Anniversary. It's going to be 33% faster. Meanwhile, Phase 3 is about to launch. Phase 2 has been a super long phase, and not that much shorter than the first time around. Phase 1 also. So I think they are intentionally stretching TBC Anniversary a little bit to create more room between Camelot and Wrath. Because when they made the Slate leak, which is very likely a real Slate leak, by the way, based on the names here, like Camelot, for example, and this leak being shown, 9 months before anyone even knew about the name Camelot. It's a very high likelihood of being a real Slate leak, but I think after this Slate leak, they started thinking, what if we just stretch TBC, create more room between Camelot and Wrath, because why would we launch both of them in a 2-month time span? Makes no sense.
That would be the worst timing ever.
Why would Blizzard release two of the biggest version at the same time? Basically, sacrificing one version for the other. This has happened several times before. For example, recently, Midnight and TBC Anniversary were released at the same time.
Which, by the way, for me as somebody who wanted to play both, sucked so hard. Thankfully, I was able to know life TBC and level up a bunch of level 70s, do a bunch of heroic dungeons, and just absolutely game in TBC, and then do the same thing in Midnight, and then return to TBC and play more casually with the characters that I had spent so much time just setting up beforehand. But if I wasn't gaming so hard, I would not be able to do that, man. And super cursed, why would you launch 2 massive titles like this within a month? It was literally 3.5 weeks in between. And I'm just there like, why?
Before that, Cataclysm Classic and War Within were released around the same time. And even before that, Wrath of Lich King Classic and Dragonflight were released at the
Yeah, all of these are true, by the way. And also, Season of Discovery launched very close to... when did Season of Discovery launch? Was it during ICC? No, dude, I think it was during TOGC. Because I missed out on TOGC, and I'm very sure Season of Discovery was why I missed out. I kind of like want to tab now and check it out. But also just let me know in the comments, which phase of Wrath was Wrath Classic in when Season of Discovery happened?
same time. These overlaps, in my opinion, can make things really difficult for Blizzard. And now we have Classic Camelot or Classic Plus. If you look at all leaks we have and information that have come out about it so far, the image that was leaked, the streamers that Blizzard invited to its headquarters. And then after they come back from Blizzard's headquarters, they said they couldn't really talk much about the subject for now. Or that streamers who accidentally showed his Battle.net account on
Which, by the way, I have a that video is out now. It's a video on my main channel because this entire thing was blown way out of proportion, and what is shown right here has nothing to do with Classic Plus, by the way, because Mr. GM made a very good tweet just debunking everything. WoW_Classic_Titan actually is Titan Reforged, so access to the Chinese version of Titan Reforged, which we already know that a bunch of US and EU streamers played on Titan Reforged and still do as well. They got help from Blizzard and able to do so. So WoW_Classic_Titan is not Classic Plus, it's Titan Reforged, and you can check this out for yourself on the WoW Tools website. I think it's something else in WoW Tools now, it's something Tools, you can check it out to see the current builds and what their names are. And then WoW_Alpha was a leftover build from a creator summit for Midnight, so like retail WoW. So both of these two things right here had nothing to do with Classic Plus, and it's already been debunked.
Accidentally showed his Battle.net account on stream, and there was a mysterious version of World of Warcraft on it that not everyone has access to. And there is a lot of other information that has been leaking into World of Warcraft community these days. All of this gives us a very good reason to believe that within the next 2 or 3 weeks, at BlizzCon 2026, Blizzard will most likely introduce Classic Plus. And there is a chance that there will be a playable version there at BlizzCon, so people who actually going to BlizzCon can test it. Everything will probably come together in the fall, and we'll have the release date for Classic Plus or Classic Camelot in the fall. I mean, if we put all the information we currently have together, it looks very likely that we will get the release date for Classic Plus in the fall. But what's the negative side of that? Why would that be the worst possible time to release Classic Plus? First, we have several other versions that people are waiting for. After TBC Anniversary, we are very likely to get Wrath of Lich King Classic Anniversary, which will probably also be announced at BlizzCon this year. And if we try to figure out the release date for Wrath of Lich King Classic based on the number of phases we've had so far and the number of phases that are still left, we can see that probably released sometimes in fall or winter. On the other side, we have Warlord of Draenor Classic, Mists of Pandaria Classic, which has now reached its final phases and basically finished. And a lot of people are saying that after Pandaria, Blizzard will probably release Warlords. Well, if Blizzard is going to release Warlords, it should release it as soon as possible, because there are no more updates left for Pandaria. And in 3 weeks at BlizzCon, Blizzard will probably announce it. And if they want to release it, the release date most likely going to be in the fall, right after the BlizzCon. So in the fall, we could potentially have several different versions of World of Warcraft running at the same time. Of course, that's assuming Blizzard doesn't put some distance between them. And I still don't know exactly when all of these versions are going to release. But you can even say that Blizzard might release at least 2 of them at the same time. And this isn't something where you can say, no, Blizzard wouldn't do that. Just like I said in the beginning of the video, Blizzard has done this many times. They've made this mistake many times before. For example, the latest thing Blizzard did was release TBC Anniversary and Midnight at the same time. And of course, there is a group of players who overlap between those 2 versions. People who play both Classic and Retail and know have to choose one. Either they play Midnight or they play TBC. And after the few months now that we are in the summer, things have become pretty dry. A lot of players have already played Phase 1 and Phase 2 of TBC. They don't really have much left to do if they are waiting for Phase 3 of TBC.
Oh, I'm protesting. I'm out of foreign. I am canceling my WoW subscription right now.
Yeah.
This is not okay, bro. Until there is a good version of WoW to play, I will cancel my subscription. Because what am I doing? I'm being a massive hypocrite here, logged into this game, when there's a more interesting...
based, by the way. Was this before or after the fresh Season of Discovery event, by the way? It was like during it, right? So he quit at some point.
Version of WoW to play that I can't even stream, by the way. All right, and I would love to.
Wait, and then he is back in 2 weeks when he realizes there's nothing to stream. Oh wait, is he? He's already playing again. No. Oh, dude, sad times. I mean, recently he's been on an absolute run playing Elden Ring, though. Been really fun to watch as well. And before that, Palworld, and before that, Final Fantasy.
Stream it, and I'm sitting here waiting for BlizzCon for them to announce something cool. But
Yeah.
BlizzCon is still not here yet. It's still 2 months away. What am I supposed to do for 2 months? Sit here and play a version of WoW that is less interesting than what they're gonna announce and what's currently available in this massive... I feel like I'm a massive hypocrite for doing that.
A lot of people played Season 1 of Midnight and don't really want to play Season 2. There are people who might be willing to jump into a new version of World of Warcraft if one comes out. And that's why during the summer we don't really have a major version of World of Warcraft to play. Private servers like Ascension WoW and another private servers take advantage of this situation and release their own version in the summer at a time when Blizzard doesn't really have a major version available. And a lot of World of Warcraft players leave Blizzard version and go play one of those popular private servers.
Ooh.
So my question is this: if Blizzard had put a meaningful 3 months gap between TBC Anniversary and Midnight and released TBC Anniversary 3 months after Midnight, would this still happening? Would we still have had such a lack of content during the summer? No. But I don't know why Blizzard always release their major update at the same time. And what we have coming in the fall is several different versions of World of Warcraft that could potentially release at the same time. Warlord of Draenor Classic hasn't even come out yet, and a lot of players are saying that Blizzard might not even release it because the expectations for it are so low. Now imagine Blizzard decide to release Warlord of Draenor Classic very close to Classic Plus or Classic Camelot. Would anyone even play Warlord? Wrath of Lich King Classic is one of the most popular versions of World of Warcraft, and on the
That is a good question, because I feel like, for me, so I don't particularly want Warlords Classic, but also, if we do get it, I'll probably play it on one character. I might even, maybe I want to get back into raiding, because Warlords was when I did actually, I think my highest level of raiding myself in retail, like Warlords and Legion, or at least the first half of Legion. It's a really fun expansion to raid, at least I think so. Mythic raids, some of the raids being super good, Hellfire Citadel, Soul Cap Trinket on a rogue for anybody who played that expansion was insane. It's just a really fun expansion to play, bro. So maybe I would be, maybe I would go back and play that expansion one more time, just to experience a rogue in its absolute prime, or even mage as well with the Arcano Crystal or whatever the name was. Like, mage had some insane stuff, bro, in Hellfire Citadel, as did rogues, but mage and rogue was just two so good classes to play. Top DPS and really fun to play as well. I might give it one more try. We'll see. I kind of hope it isn't happening, because it takes a lot of time to raid like that, and I would rather just play Classic Plus, bro. The only question then is, if we don't get Warlords, what the actual F happens to Mist of Pandaria? Do we just stay in MOP era? Do we go to retail? Big questions that will be answered at BlizzCon for sure.
other side, Classic Camelot or Classic Plus is one of the most anticipated versions of World of Warcraft. If these release very close to each other, Wrath of Lich King Classic will definitely take a huge hit. A huge number of players simply won't go and play the Wrath of Lich King. And more importantly, we also have GTA coming. GTA is supposed to release in the fall. And if Classic Plus released in the fall, a huge amount of attention from Classic Plus is going to shift toward GTA. We've seen this. We've seen several times in World of Warcraft when Classic Anniversary was released and when World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore was released. The number of views on the Twitch, Kick and YouTube was skyrocketed for World of Warcraft. But when GTA released, can a World of Warcraft version still move the numbers on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick? In my opinion, World of Warcraft's views are going to get completely buried under GTA. Classic Camelot has the potential to move the numbers on the Twitch, YouTube, and Kick. But if it releases at the same time as GTA, can it still do that? On the other hand, if Blizzard puts a huge gap between them and release Classic Camelot much later, Blizzard is going to get a huge amount of backlash because players have been waiting for it for a long time. And Blizzard itself has been slowly giving us leaks and information, basically saying we are slowly getting close to Classic Plus. If Classic Plus is going to release in the fall or winter, that's one thing, but if it gets pushed into spring of next year or even the summer of the next year, which isn't unlikely, Blizzard might even release Classic Plus alongside The Last Titan. Blizzard has always done things like that. They release Classic version at the same time as retail version, and that's enough.
If Classic Plus doesn't come out this year, it is so over. I'm just, yeah, it's over. It is actually over. They have to release it this year. There's no way. The content drought right now is insane. The amount of people that would quit is insane.
Another huge theory itself. So if they release it in the fall, it's somehow the worst possible time to release it. If they release it in the spring or summer of the next year, that's also potentially the worst possible time to release it. Why doesn't Blizzard think about these things?
Oh wow, that was the end. Alright. Yo, that was a good video. Good video. No outro, kind of nice as well, using the Mr. Beast approach of just straight into the action, straight out of the action. Kind of nice. Alright, very good video. I appreciate that one. Different video than usual as well, and asking some really important questions that for the most part I believe we'll get answers to at BlizzCon this year, which is now like 2 weeks away. A little bit over 2 weeks, but roughly 2 weeks, which is kind of crazy, by the way. Alright, leave your thoughts in the comments down below, by the way, as always, and the link is going to be down below as well in the video description. Thank you for watching today. I will see you guys next time.